Well, good Monday morning. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I have some cool stuff for you today. So I hope you're ready to be inspired to get out there and take your real estate business to the next level. I'm going to show some neat stuff. I'm starting off with something kind of fun. I feel like a great way just to remind ourselves how cool real estate is. So let's see here. I wanted to share with you this fun data. These are the top 20 U-Haul growth states. So U-Haul did a study, and I'm going to kind of go through what the top states are for inbound moves. So people moving from another state into that state. We're going to kind of quick go through that. Just some fun, interesting data. Have your camera ready because you're probably going to want to take a picture of this, maybe repurpose it as content. And then I really want to talk today about how you need to harness these 3 marketing principles to really have massive success in your business. I don't know if you are seeing what I'm seeing, but I am seeing a lot of real estate agents pull off the pedal. They're kind of pushing the brakes, and they're really not taking advantage of this time and space where, sure, maybe sales are a little bit slow in your market. I get it. Rates are higher. I get it. There's a lot of uncertainty. But what we do now will set us up for success 90, 120 days from now. And I believe that things are going to get better. And so I want you to be prepared for when that happens. And these 3 marketing principles are really going to get you there. And then finally, I'm going to round it out today with how you can really build trust and likability with those that you want to serve or those that you do serve. I think that this is something that is not talked about often enough. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time showing you some research on how you can build trust and how you can be more likable. So maybe you're thinking, I don't even need to be more likable. Well, okay, I get it. Maybe being likable isn't for you. But what I know is that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so in order to get them down to that trust cycle, they need to like you first. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on that today as well. All right, let me quick check hi guys. Oh, hi Kathy. Good morning. Oh, Kathy said California is the #1 state people are moving out of. Kathy Ryan is from California. And Kathy, you're right. You are right. Here are the top 20 U-Haul growth states. And so U-Haul did a study, and what they found was that the most inbound moves from out of state were to Texas. So Texas was the #1 state of inbound moves. And you see Florida, the Carolinas, Virginia. That surprised me. We have a lot of iBuyer activity in Virginia, though. Interesting. So pretty cool to see. Tennessee was #6. Arizona was 7. Georgia was 8. Ohio was 9. Idaho was 10. And then you can see the remaining 10 of the top 20 there on the right-hand side. Any of these states surprise you? Are you surprised by any of these and seeing that they're in the top 20 for the growth states? I was a little surprised to see, like Virginia on there. I was a little surprised that Ohio came in at #9, but very affordable in Ohio. So maybe that's why. Interesting for sure. What I know is this is the sort of data that people are interested in. So as I mentioned, maybe you have your camera ready. Just take a quick picture of this. You can use this and make some content from it. I think this would be a really cool carousel post on Instagram. Could be a neat video. Just a couple weeks ago, I did a video on NAR's top 10 markets, and it kind of went viral. And on TikTok, got hundreds of thousands of views. I was shocked that this information was picked up and shared and stitched. So in any event, you can use this to really educate and give some fun real estate information to your people. But here is where I want to spend the focus of our time today. And what I really want to focus on is where we're at as a society. And I found this to be so interesting. The average human attention span is a second less than a goldfish. Okay. So the human attention span is 8 seconds. It's very low. And so we don't have a lot of time to grab people's attention. People's attention is fleeting. Here's some interesting data. We are bombarded with marketing messages practically every minute of every day. You can see here that in 1970, the average person was exposed to about 500 advertisements a day. In the 1990s, it jumped to 5,000 advertising messages per day. And it is estimated that in these current times, we receive about 30,000 marketing messages per day. It is noisy. It is very, very noisy. And so as we think about this as it relates to our real estate business, I want to ask you a question. And the question is, what is the number one problem you face as a real estate agent? What is that number one problem? Now, I know there's a lot of problems out there. I know you have problems with transactions and problems with the market, and problems with loans and problems with clients, but overall, your overarching problem, I believe, is obscurity. I believe that you are not marketing enough to break through all of the noise, to position yourself as the leader, to really be that knowledge broker in your marketplace, to really educate, inform, and inspire your audience to action, to be ready for them when they're ready for you, because as we know, not everybody is going to buy and sell right now. And so how do we keep them engaged and keep them attached and keep them as part of our community long enough to when they are in the buy-sell cycle, you are the trusted local advisor. Your problem is obscurity. Your problem is not enough people know who you are and know what you do, and you've not fostered enough longevity with them to when it's time for them to buy and sell, they use you. And so truly the number one problem facing most real estate agents is just that. It is obscurity. You are not seen. And the reason I believe we are not seen at the capacity that we can is because we're not effective marketers. I'm going to pause for a minute because I really believe that the realtor of the future, the one that's going to crush it, is the one that's the best marketer, especially in these times, lower transaction count. We need to have more transactions with fewer that are happening, which means you have to harness these marketing principles and you have to really nail it. Here they are. It's so simple. The 3 marketing principles that you need to harness to really have epic success are your frequency, your reach, and time. Now, I'm going to break each one down just a little bit. The first one is your frequency, and that is how often are you going to put out a marketing message? And we can think of this in all of the different silos that we're working in within our pillars or lead generating, whatever you term it. But for instance, let's take your database. How frequently are you marketing to your database? Be honest, write it down. How frequently are you sending a message to your database? Do they get something from you once a quarter, once a month, twice a month? Do they get something from you twice a month with one phone call? How frequently are you marketing to them? We just saw that the average American is getting 30,000 marketing messages per day. We are bombarded literally constantly with marketing messages. And so if your frequency is too low, that message will fall on deaf ears because we will forget it. We have to see things over and over and over again in order for that to really make an impression in our psyche. And so if you're not seeing something frequently enough, it's going to be as if it doesn't even exist to you. And so how frequently are you marketing? So I took the example of your database. How frequently are you marketing to your database? Now, this can go across all different silos of your lead generating. It can go into your social media. How are you showing up? How frequently are you showing up on social media? And when you show up, what are you showing up with? Is it once a month? Is it once a week? Is it once a day? How frequently are you showing up? And then I think of the cash offer hook and how you're deploying that into your marketplace. How frequently are you deploying the cash offer hook into your marketplace? It just once? Are you texting it out once to a bunch of absentee owners, and then after once, you just let it go? I did it once. Again, it is not going to be effective unless we are very frequent with this messaging. Number two is your reach. Number two is the reach, because that is the people that you are marketing to. And I believe that if we market frequently to a segment of people, that is the most effective. It's better to market more towards fewer people than market less to a wide audience. Wouldn't you agree? So because of that, what is the reach? Who are the people that you are trying to reach? So I used the example of your database at first, because your database is probably a closed set of people. Maybe you're adding to it. You should be every week, every day, potentially. But this database is growing, but it's a finite number, right? You could probably tell me how many people are in your database. You could probably say, Kayla, I have 700 people in my database. And so I use the example of your database because that is your reach. Your reach are those 700 people or so. And as you market to them frequently, you're giving them saturation of your marketing message, which means they're more likely to remember who you are, what you do, what your unique value propositions are, etc. But what is your reach? Now, when we talk social media, this is a complete game changer, because I believe it's one of the best ways for you to grow your reach, especially if you do it in a strategic and thoughtful manner. So for instance, if you're using social media in your business, what is your reach? Now, you could look at your reach as your follower count, but I don't think that would be fair, because what we know about social media is the algorithms will put you in front of people that don't even know you if they think that your content will apply to them, or if they think that they will like your content. It will serve it up to them and say, hey, check out this chick. What do you think of her marketing? What do you think of her messaging? And you can grow your reach, and then you can frequently market to your reach. Even text message campaigns. So I know a lot of real estate agents are using the cash offer hook in text message campaigns. They're using it for absentee owners. Maybe they're using it for pre-foreclosure. I know that Kathy Ryan's on the call. She is so great at this. She's using it for pre-foreclosure, for absentee owners, and she's texting out her cash offer hook, her cash offer website to those people. Well, if you have that reach, you can continually send them information and just prime them for you being the expert, and get them to know and like and eventually trust you. And then the third marketing principle that I think is the hardest one for pretty much everybody, myself included, is time. And that is time. And so I want to spend a moment on this, because we've all heard it, we all know it, yet we've not internalized this yet. You cannot, I'm going to repeat this a couple times probably, you cannot erase the time equation from marketing. You cannot erase the time equation from marketing. So you can get out there and you can be frequent and you can have good reach, and you have to do it over time. Time is the thing that bonds it all together, because see, here's the reality. Not only the reality of what we do, helping people buy and sell homes, happens infrequently in their lives, right? So the average American probably moves, 5-6 times in their lifetime. And so because of that, and if we know that it's every 4 to 7 years people are moving, because of that, when we're marketing to them, 98% of the time it's going to fall on deaf ears, because they're not in the buy-sell cycle. They're not buying, they're not selling. And so what is your marketing to them in that time frame going to look like to keep them engaged, to keep them interested, to keep them following, to keep them checking back for more? Because you can't erase this time from the equation. And so you have to do things long enough for them to be effective. And what I saw mentoring agents, for those of you that don't know, I am a realtor. I started real estate when I was 22 years old, and that was almost 23 years ago. And when I started real estate, I had no experience. community college dropout. I had been in Germany. I lived in Germany for a couple of years. My husband was in the Air Force, and we came back to our hometown, which was Gilbert, Arizona. And we said, what are we going to do? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go sell houses. I watched an infomercial at the time, and it was this guy, his name was Carlton Sheets, and he was teaching these really cool strategies on how you could build wealth in real estate. And see, I grew up without 2 nickels to rub together. I grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees, and, rich people are greedy, and, all of these very limiting beliefs around money. And the one thing I knew was that I was not going to be poor. The one thing that I knew was that I was going to change the generational trajectory for myself and my family. And so I thought, you know what? I can do it. I can sell real estate. This is easy. How hard can it be, right? And so I set out to do it and had massive success by the grace of God. And it was a great timing in the market, and just really was so young and so naive that anything anyone told me I would take to heart. And I remember the top producer in my office at the time was an expert marketer. And when you are around somebody who's at the top of their game, it's contagious, right? And so he was contagious, and anything he did, he told me, and I copied him. And one of the things that I got really good at was geographically farming. I got so good at geographically farming, to the point that I owned neighborhoods, owned them. Like a listing went up in there, it was mine. And I was matching up the buyer before it could even go on MLS. And I just dominated and crushed it. And the reason why is because I mastered these 3 marketing principles. It took me almost 11 months before I got a single deal in my geographical farm. That's a long time. You and I both know that you probably would have quit before that paid off. And you and I both know that most real estate agents will quit before something pays off. You and I both know that we're quitting shit that's going to work in 30, 60, 90 days, but we're quitting it. Why? What's getting in the way? What is getting in the way from us truly having these epic results in our business and having this massive success? And so I want to share with you what I believe is the best opportunity right now. And your best opportunity is to really be that knowledge broker to the marketplace. And I believe, based on the top stressors of home sellers, based on the fact that buyers have so many regrets over the homes that they've purchased, I believe that your best strategy as a real estate agent in this market is to really share with home buyers and home sellers that they have options. They have easy ways that they can move now. And what gets me so passionate about Zoodealio is these easy ways to move, because moving can be such a nightmare. And last week we went through those top stressors of home sellers, and I showed you the consumer research, and it wasn't the NAR research, but by the way, the NAR research backs it as well. The top stressors for people when they're selling their home are timing their move with the purchase of their next home. They're really stressed out about it. They want an easy way to transact real estate, and unfortunately, the real estate transaction can be a little bit cumbersome. Now, I know you have your secret sauce, and I know you make it easy for your clients, but the question then is, how do they know? And are you communicating that message frequently enough to enough people over a long enough period of time to where it sinks in and to where they understand these unique value propositions that you bring to the marketplace? So I'm going to share my screen to the Zoodealio offer dashboard right now. If I can get there. Jane said, we're going to talk about fish. Well, we talked about goldfish for a minute. Let's see. Jeff, welcome from New Mexico. Glad to have you. Yes, those top markets. Jane said they're all coming to Florida. You are right. A lot of people are moving in droves to Florida, and Virginia was a surprise for me as well. Let's see, we have Jim Bards has his hand raised. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on. Oh, wait a sec. Maybe he lowered his hand real quick. All right, Jim, if you would like for me to bring you on, just raise that hand again. I will check it here in a moment. All right, I've got our Zoodealio offer dashboard up. People want easy. And so here are ways you can show them that you can provide easy for them. So when you are working with a home seller, are you showing them the other ways? Are you educating your database, your people, your social media following, your potentially new clients? Are you educating them on the new ways to sell real estate? Because let's be real, there are different ways now, and there's a digital way, and they can use your platform to kind of know where they stand. You can use your platform to satisfy their curiosity, so to speak. It doesn't have to be only come here when you're ready to transact real estate. No, it can be this, hey, are you curious what your cash offer values are? Submit your home and just get an idea of where you stand. And I will tell you that with our next update, we're doing our Zoodealio 3.0 update. We are going to be able to email this out to your database on a continual basis so that they always know what their cash offer value is, because I'm pumped on it. I think that this is something that people always need to know. They always need to know what their easy ways to transact real estate are. I'm going to go through each of these quickly. Obviously, listing their home on the open market will usually bring them full market value for probably the least amount of cost. Sure, we can all agree on that. But what we know is that people are willing to pay for convenience. There was a study done back in the summer. It was by Clever. It was the American attitudes toward iBuying companies. And what they uncovered was that the average home seller would be willing to give up $45,000 to have an easy sale that they didn't have to list on the market. So we know that people are willing to pay a little bit more for a convenient sale. So when a property comes in to your system, we are going to match that property with the cash offers and the selling solutions available for that property. Most of the time, you will get returned a cash offer, which is a cash offer that works just like an open door or an offer pad offer. This is a cash offer with a service fee. The seller gets to pick their closing date, and then they get to move on to their next home. Now, the second offer that they're going to receive is the Cash Plus offer. And the Cash Plus offer is a fee-based iBuyer offer. It is not a margin-based offer. It's a fee-based iBuyer offer. And there is a small convenience fee for this offer, but it's structured a little bit differently. And because it's a full market value offer, it's done in 2 payouts to the home seller. So a really neat offer structure. I showed you last week how you can use this offer structure to even make improvements to the home after the seller moves out, so that when it sells on the open market, it sells for more. And the neat thing about this offer structure is anything in excess gets returned to the original home seller. And so it's a very cool offer. We also have the Sell Now, Move Later offer. Again, another really neat structured cash offer. It works similar to the Cash Plus offer in the structure, and to where there are 2 payouts to the home seller. But the really cool thing about the Sell Now, Move Later offer is the seller can now lease their own home back on a month-to-month basis for up to 12 months. And so I always, at this time of year, I always think about the individuals that are considering a move, but maybe they want to free up some equity. Maybe they want to go put a good chunk down on a new build or on their next property. And maybe their kids are in school till May, and they don't want to actually move for a few months. So this is a great option for people that want to be able to stay in their home for a little bit longer and want to take advantage of unlocking their equity now and moving later. And then we have the cash buyer program. So for buyers, they can get approved to go out there and buy in cash. And not only can they win out in multiple offer scenarios, which I know we're not seeing as many of those lately, but the real benefit of this program is that they can negotiate with the power of cash. And one of the most startling pieces of research came from the University of California, San Diego. And you can Google this study. It's fascinating. They went back over 40 years of US residential real estate transactions, and they analyzed 40 years back, millions and millions of home sales, and they analyzed the cash buyers and the finance buyers. And what they found was that the cash buyer received an 11% discount over the financed buyer. So this cash buyer program has the potential to help your buyers negotiate so much better of a deal. And then the last program that we will auto serve to the dashboard is the Fix It and List It program. And if you remember, we talked last week about the top stressors of home sellers, and timing their next move was one of the top, but a close second was knowing what repairs to make to get the most for their home on the open market. So sellers are kind of aware that maybe a little bit needs to be done to their home, but they don't know what to do. And so the Fix It and List It program is so cool because it allows them to flip their own home, so to speak, and in doing so, maximize the repair or the after repair value. And it is no out-of-pocket cost to them. So how cool is that? You have some really cool things at your fingertips that you can be sharing to your marketplace frequently to a group of people over time, again and again. And I believe that in doing so, you will position yourself as the leader in your market. I have a quick script I want to show you that you can use to make content, because I believe it's video right now. Video is what is getting all of the attention. If you're not making video content, you are missing out. And if you're not making video content, I would ask you, what's getting in the way? What is getting in the way? Or maybe you are making video content, but you're not making it frequently. What's getting in the way? I'm curious because it's such a powerful form of marketing, the most powerful form of marketing. And as we take people down the know, like, trust cycle, video accelerates the trust building process. And so I have a script that you can use out in your market. You could make a quick short form video with this script. It's super simple. It touches on what we know are some of the top stressors of home sellers and positions you as the one that comes to the table with fresh new ideas, fresh new options. And the script is so simple. Are you trying to time the sale of your home with your next purchase, or curious about the best repairs to make before selling? My programs are proven to be the easiest way to move. Enter your address and instantly see offers such as the Cash Plus offer, a full market value cash offer that provides all the convenience and certainty of cash while still allowing you to play the open market, to the Fix It and List It, which allows you to fix and flip your own home with no out-of-pocket expenses. Your next move doesn't have to be stressful. Let's connect and discuss your real estate goals. See how simple this is? And if I just sat here and recorded this on my phone right now, I could probably record this script in about 30, 45 seconds. And now I have a very powerful form of content that I can distribute out into a plethora of platforms. I want to share with you how I'm distributing my content. It's been a true game changer. I decided that I needed to up my game in the content space, and I needed to push out more content. And so in doing so, we're really operating off of the fundamental of one piece of content now can be spread across multiple platforms. And it's so simple. It's taking that video that you just recorded, and then it's pushing it out on Instagram as a reel, uploading it on Facebook as a reel, uploading it on TikTok as a TikTok, uploading it on YouTube as a YouTube short, and then finally uploading it on LinkedIn as a video. And so you can see how if I make one piece of content, I am now spreading it across all of these different platforms. And it is a game changer. The other day, I was doing a demo to a team in Florida of Zoodealio. And as I'm talking to the team in Florida, I asked them, how did you hear about us? And the guy said, well, I saw you here, but TikTok, I found you on TikTok. And I'm thinking, okay, cool, TikTok. And I kind of just dismissed it. And then anytime someone comes into Zoodealio, they fill out a form. And on that form, it asks them, how did you hear about us? And a form came through that same day. And in the how did you hear about us section, it said TikTok. And I'm going, what is happening? Why, how are people finding us on TikTok? And so I opened up my TikTok app, and unbeknownst to me, one of my pieces of content went viral on TikTok. And after hundreds of thousands of views, I'm now getting people that are finding us and then coming into the Zoodealio ecosystem because of finding us on TikTok. This stuff works, guys. This stuff works. It works if you work it. And so are you going to harness the 3 marketing principles that will get you massive success this year? I hope the answer is yes. I hope you're going to double down on video. I want to share with you why it is so easy to build trust and to build likability using video. Kind of as I round us out today, the question is how do you build more trust with your people? How can you become more likable with your people? And I'm excited to share this story. I've shared it before, but it's really cool. It's a book. This is the book that I've recently reread. I picked this up, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It's called The Invisible Influence by Jonah Berger. And it's very entertaining. He's a wonderful author. It just makes the concepts so easy to understand. And the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is because it's powerful. And if you want to harness the power of video and marketing, and you really want to increase your frequency, you want to expand your reach, and you are willing to do it over time, I'm telling you, video is the way to go. You can build more trust and be more likable than ever using the power of video marketing. And so I just gave you a script you can use with your cash offerings. You could make a video on each and every one of the cash offerings that you have, just to show the expanse that you have access to and how you are so different from the other agents that are giving advice on how to stage a property, which is great. It's great advice. Definitely give the advice on how to stage a property. But if you're not giving the advice on, hey, like, what if you don't even want to list your house and you want to sell it? You're missing out. You are missing out. And so I digress. How can you build more trust and be more likable? Well, it turns out this book has the secret. So this book, it's The Hidden Forces That Shape Behavior, and it's all about human behavior and in marketing. And I would say that the real estate business is just a human relationship business. Wouldn't you agree? This is human to human, right? As much as technology can come in and enhance what we're doing, ultimately, at the end of the day, nothing, no technology, no AI will ever replace the human-to-human contact that we have in real estate. It's a contact sport, right? And so I'm constantly reading and exploring anything that will give me insight into people and how people think and to how they behave, which is why I so heavily research all of this. And so this book, it starts out with a really interesting story. It's a psychology experiment. And here's how the psychology experiment goes down. So it was conducted at the University of Pittsburgh, and it was like many classes that you may have taken in college. It was held in a large fan-shaped lecture hall. And there were 250 students in there, and about half of them were female and about half of them were male. And in psychology classes, they will often offer extra credit for participating in academic research. And so this class was no different. And at the end of the semester, the students were asked if they wanted to complete a short survey. And so, of course, most of the students said, yes, sign me up for extra credit. And it was really simple. The survey was really, really simple. Male and female students were shown photos of 4 women. And the women were labeled A, B, C, and D. And then they were asked to answer a few questions about each. Now, here's the question they asked. How attractive did they find each woman? And then the next question was, did they think they would enjoy spending time with that woman? And then the last question was, would they like to become friends with that woman? Now, here's a couple pieces of information that are important. None of these women were particularly distinctive, and all of them looked like typical college students. They were similar in age, they dressed similarly, and they looked like someone that you could have been sitting next to like the entire semester, which in fact they had. Unbeknownst to them, the students had been part of this elaborate experiment. And throughout the semester, the women pictured in the survey, they would arrive a few minutes before the lecture took place. They would walk slowly to the front of the room. They would take a seat next to their classmates, and they would sit quietly and take notes during the lecture. But there was one important detail, and that was each woman attended a different number of class sessions. Woman A showed up to 0 sessions, none. She didn't go at all. Woman B showed up to 5. Woman C showed up to 10. And woman D showed up to 15. So not surprising that different students saw the various women differently, right? And some thought woman A was pretty, and some preferred B, and some liked C's eyes, and some found D more appealing. But even with everyone's difference of opinions, there was a distinct pattern. And the pattern is that the women who had come to class more often were seen as more attractive. The woman who came to 15 classes was seen as the most attractive woman. She was seen as more attractive than the woman who came to 10. And the woman who came to 10 was seen as more attractive than the woman who came to 5. And the woman who came to 5 was seen as more attractive than the woman who came to 0. Now, you might wonder whether the woman who had come to 15 times was just naturally better looking, naturally more attractive, but this wasn't the case. Students who were not in the class found all of the women equally attractive. So without the differential exposure, the 4 women looked the same. I hope you are drawing the nuggets from this, because the nugget is familiarity leads to likability. The more people see you, the more they will like you. Familiarity leads to likability. Like, how cool is that? Like, you don't even have to, like, I feel like what holds a lot of us back from showing up on video is the way we look, the way we sound, what we're going to say, how we're going to be perceived. But you can just trash all of that. It doesn't matter. That is why you have someone in my market. We have this company called 72 Sold. Have you heard of them? If you haven't, you might soon, because they're franchising this model and going all throughout the US. And 72 Sold is head by this guy who's probably, I don't know, in his 70s, not very attractive, but he's all over and they're crushing it. And why? It's because of likability. It is because he is familiar. It is because he has mastered the 3 marketing principles of frequency, of reach over time. And he does it again and again and again. And he puts his messages out there again and again and again. And I hope that you will be inspired to do the same. If you want to know more, go check out this book. It is a great book. It will hopefully inspire you, like it did me, to get out there, get over yourself, take action, build the business that you know you are capable of building, serve the people that you know you are capable of serving. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you. I appreciate your attention. I know that we have attention spans less than a goldfish. So being here with me today is definitely an honor, and I appreciate you and your time. I will be back here with you next Monday. Everybody go out there and have a fantastic week.